Happy for you to join the feast, and my prayer for you is that the Word of God will be so powerful, it will transform your life and it will bless your family, your home. Are you ready? I'm so super excited to share with you the Word of God. The one big message for today is a little bit complicated, and you might want to take down notes and get ready for this. Are you ready? Okay. Difficult to remember? Here's the one big message. Do. That's it. Do. One more, two letters. Do. Yes. Do. That's God's message for you today. Do. I hope you remember that. I hope you memorize that. Do. Now, where does that come from? It comes from our key passage for today, and we just read it. I'm going to read it again. Here we go. Do to others. Do to others. You got that? Whatever you would like them to do to you. Does this sound familiar? Do you get, deja vu memories from school where your teacher said this? That's right, the golden rule. You remember this. Put in the comments, I remember. Golden rule. And the golden rule is fascinating because it's not only found in Christianity, not only did Jesus say this, you find this in every religion, in most religion traditions, ethnicities. You find ancient Egypt, ancient Persia, Buddhism, Hinduism, Taoism, it's all over the place. But if you examine, and this is the thing, I want you to listen carefully, if you examine the ancient literature, the golden rule was mostly presented in its negative form. Meaning to say, what's the negative form? I'll read it to you. Negative form is, do not do to others whatever you would not like them do to you. Now, is there a difference between a positive and negative form? Absolutely. Because the negative form, do not do, gives you the minimum requirement. What am I saying? Oh, by the way, let me give you some examples. So I'm not making this up. Confucius, 500 years ago, said this in China. He said, what you do not wish for yourself, do not do to others. And in India, the longest poem, I learned this, researching about it, the Mahabharata, I hope I pronounce it correctly. The poem says, one should never do something to others that one would regard as an injury to one's own self. You know how convoluted these things are, but okay. Proverb from ancient Persia, whatever is disagreeable to yourself, do not do unto others. Now, what am I saying? That the negative form of the golden rule is not as great as the positive rule, but at least it gives you the minimum requirements to live on planet Earth. It's like how will you make planet Earth habitable, livable, is through that minimum requirement. For example, can I give you an example? You would not want to live in a neighborhood if your next door neighbor is Hannibal Lecter. Lecter. Dun, 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 dun. You wouldn't want to live there because every 16 minutes you're looking out of the window. Where's Hannibal? Is he coming to dinner? And he's going to make my brains the main dish. If you do not know who Hannibal Lecter is, Google. Okay, never mind. But point I'm driving at is you cannot live on planet Earth. You cannot live if people kill each other. So you want that minimum requirement, and that's fine. But my big question is this: are you listening to me? Will you think with me? Will that minimum requirement, that negative form, do not, whatever you do not want them to do for you, will that make you a great human being? Will that elevate you to your highest potential? Will that make you a happy person? And the answer is no. No. And, I remember this one thing. I was, I think I shared this some weeks ago. Pre-COVID days, I was in a mall, and then I met a guy, and then we chit-chatted, and then I said, hey, why don't you go to the feast? And then he gave me this classic answer. I've heard this so many times before. He said, I don't think I need to go to church. I don't need it because I haven't killed anyone. I haven't stolen from anyone. I haven't cheated from anyone. And there you go. I was just smiling, hearing that answer again. Friends, if there's something crazy about human beings, we've defined a good person as someone who does not kill. It's like, can we not be better than that? Because, can you imagine a single lady praying to God, Lord, my one true love, give him to me, someone tall, dark, and handsome, and kung pwede, Lord, someone who has not killed anyone. Okay, my point. I think we have focused too much on avoiding sins of commission that we have fallen to sins of omission. Here's my basic point, friends. There are people right now who are suffering left and right. And some people are blind to that. Some people are so oblivious to that. Why? Because we are trapped in our little world. We are so self-absorbed. We are trapped in our own needs and hurts and wants and plans. And you ask any group of psychologists, what are the marks of maturity? How will I know, how will you know that you are mature emotionally, psychologically? You get the psychologist to give you a list. Total 100%. The word empathy will be in that list. You want to know if you're mature? Empathy. That's the answer. My point. I'm driving. I'm pointing. Did you hear that? That's a motorcycle driving. Wow. Now, listen. Empathy. What's empathy? By the way, before I define empathy, baby crying in the middle of the night. Why? Because it's itchy. Because it's hungry. Because the baby is uncomfortable. Cries, screams his head off. Question. Is the baby thinking, oh, I shouldn't cry too much because, mommy, she's been tired and exhausted and drained. I wouldn't know. No, the baby is a total narcissist at that point. Absolutely selfish. Why? A baby is that. And even a toddler, 2 years old. Have you seen a toddler look at a toy being played by another toddler? Have you seen this move? Walks up, grabs the toy, turns around, and walks away. And the other toddler crying. Have you ever seen that? Why? Because the toddler does not think, oh, the other toddler will get hurt if no, I want toy. Boom. Question. Have you seen adults acting exactly like that? And the answer is yes. There are many toddlers in adult bodies. No empathy. There is none. What is empathy? Empathy is being able to, my simple definition, you're able to feel that person's pain. You're able to see through that person's eyes. It takes maturity. It takes emotional maturity to do that. Which brings me now to this point. And I want you to ask, it's not enough. And let me go back to the minimum negative form of the golden rule. It's not enough at night to ask the question, have I killed anyone today? Hello? There's a better question. Have I given life to someone today? Powerful. It's not enough to ask the question, have I hurt someone today? If the answer is no, will that make you a great human being? Maybe the better question is, have I helped someone today? Before you sleep at night, it's not enough to ask the question, have I cursed someone today? So what if no? Maybe the better question is, have I blessed someone today? And so let me share with you something that I was just going through this quote unquote golden rule where Jesus said, do to others whatever you would like them to do to you, is actually a parallel of the second greatest commandment, love your neighbor as yourself. And you can break it up into two parts. So the part one is do to others, love your neighbor. Part two is what you want others to do to you, which is as yourself. Love your neighbor as yourself. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to discuss part one, and this is powerful. I always say this to people, that the first person that gets blessed is the preacher, because he studies. I'm so blessed reading this. I'm so super excited to share this with you. I hope you're ready. Part one, do to others. We already shared this at the very start. Remember, the Beatitudes, the first part of the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus establishes that this is God's guest list. This is God's VIP, the poor, the outcast, the suffering, the destitute, the scum of society. Why? Why is that God's guest list? I don't understand. I'll tell you why. Jesus practices what he preaches. Love your neighbor as yourself. This is it. This is at the core of immaturity is an I problem. Me. But if you have empathy, if you feel the pain of others, if you feel their hunger, then that's what's going to happen. You're going to make them your VIP. And I hope I make sense. I'd like to pandemic crisis. Past few months. How many months have we been in quarantine? I shared this already with you. How the feasts, since the crisis began, we just went all out in trying to feed the hungry. And we've been able to feed thousands upon thousands of people already. To this day, we're doing it. But can I say this to you, that it made me discover how, if you're really serious about empathy, about feeling the other person's pain, here's what I realized. As long as there's a hungry person out there, I can never be full. As long as there's one suffering person out there, I can never be content. So this whole calling of God is disturbing. It will disturb you. You cannot live your life the way you want to. You can't. You'll have to live your life in a very different way. And you'll realize that there is no me. There is no you. There is only us. We're in this together. And the crazy thing about our feeding program is that from the very start, we knew that there were going to be millions of people who will be hungry, right? I mean, I knew that. The leaders of the feasts knew that. The people who volunteered knew that. But it didn't matter. As long as, even if we will not be able to feed millions, if we can feed one person today. Which brings me to Mama Mary. Mama Mary, when she heard an angel tell her, "You're pregnant, not yours, God's kid. You're a God carrier." What did Mama Mary do? Did she strut in Nazareth saying, "Oh, I am the mother of the Son of God. Serve me tea and biscuits, please"? She didn't do that. The moment she heard the message, "You are God's carrier," boom! She travels 3 to 4 days in scorching Judean desert to serve another pregnant woman. And for the next 3 months, one pregnant woman, a bit younger, not a bit younger, serving an older pregnant woman. Mama Mary cooking dishes, doing the laundry, making beds, scrubbing the floor. What am I talking about? Mama Mary is a doer. And that's the one big message today. Do. You do. You want to respond. You do. You serve the person that's in front of you. That's what Mama Mary did all her life. She did not build cathedrals. She did not preach to thousands. She did not go out in missions all over the world. No, Mama Mary, what did she do? She served the person in front of her. She had empathy. She felt the person's pain. Serve. If there's one thing I want to share with you, it's that you feel their pain and you serve their needs. I want you to tattoo that in your arm, figuratively. And but yeah, if you want to. Feel their pain. Serve their needs. You don't have to pack up, resign from your job, become a missionary to to Africa. No, you be a Mama Mary. You're a God carrier. You let God love through you. You do. You do something. You serve the person in front of you. You feel their pain and you serve their needs. Radical call. It will change your life forever. Second part to follow.